Hi, welcome to Lecture 2, Similarity Measures for Cluster Analysis. In this lecture, we are going to introduce the basic concepts of similarity measures. Especially, we were focused on measuring similarity between objects. We will introduce Minkowski distance for measuring numerical data, introduce proximity measures for symmetric versus asymmetric binary variables. We'll discuss the distance measure between categorical attributes, ordinal attributes, and mixed types. We will introduce proximity measure between two vectors, cosine similarity. Further, we are going to introduce correlation measures between two vectors called covariance and correlation coefficient. So we first get into section 1, basic concepts, means how to measure similarity between objects. Since clustering is an unsupervised learning process, so we do not have predefined labels to judge whether it's right or wrong. So how can we judge a clustering process is good? That means whether it will produce high-quality clusters. Usually we give two measures, one called high intra-class similarity, the other called low inter-class similarity. What is high intra-class similarity? That means you want to see the objects within the same cluster. They are rather similar. They are cohesive. You also want to see inter-class similarity is low in the sense you want to see the objects in different clusters. They are rather dissimilar or they are distinctive. So to measure this, we need some separate quality function to measure how good a cluster is. However, it is hard to define what is similar enough or good enough. The answer usually could be quite subjective. That's the reason we want to look at different similarity measures or the similarity functions for different applications, but they are critical for cluster analysis. For terminologies, people actually want to distinguish quite interesting similar things called similarity measure, dissimilarity measure, or proximity measure. What is similarity measure or similarity function? Usually, similarity function is a real value function to quantify the similarity between two objects. Usually, the higher value, it means more similar. So the value range is 0 to 1. 0 means there's no similarity. 1 means they are completely similar or they are identical. Then, similar to similarity, many people want to use dissimilarity or distance measure. Distance measure or distance function is a numerical measure to measure how different these two objects are. To some extent, the dissimilarity is inverse of similarity. That means the lower or the shorter the distance, the more alike. The minimum dissimilarity is 0, means they are completely similar or identical. The value range could be either 0 to 1 or 0 to infinity based on the definition. Another term called proximity, this is usually referred to either similarity or dissimilarity.